What's up? Welcome back to the HSD Nation. Boy, do we have some information. Guys, I'm not saying doing this to scare anybody. I can definitely see this coming. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. I can see it. But you don't have to be part of the bloodbath. So, 2018, I'm going to be honest with you. It was pretty ugly for the major trucking companies. A lot of them went out of business. And, freight was tight. But the major part that killed that was there was a lot of major manufacturing going out of business. They closed some GM plants and stuff like that, and you don't realize how much work they provide until they're not there anymore. So that was a big part there. But here, this guy here, Craig Fuller, the CEO of FreightWaves, dude, he takes it to another level. So let's do this.
Just 3 years after 2019's trucking bloodbath, another is on the way. Craig Fuller analyzes the state of the U.S. truckload market. After 2 years of COVID-induced havoc in global freight markets, volatility has started to abate. FreightWaves' view of the market has become clearer, and the picture isn't pretty. We think another sharp, painful downturn in the U.S. truckload market is imminent, and it could be as bad as 2019. March has been unusually soft in the truckload freight market, according to the Sonar Outbound Tender Volume Index, OTVI. Because this index measures actual truckload tenders in the contract market, it provides a very reliable indicator of market direction. March is typically a strong month for trucking, as shippers start to stock their shelves in preparation for summer. And late March normally gets a reliable end-of-quarter boost in volumes as shippers pump sales and reduce inventories. This year, we are not seeing that surge. In fact, March volumes are softer than at any point in 2021, other than holidays. The API in blue is currently sitting at 13,571. It was 15,531 at the end of January and 15,859 a year ago. The orange line is 2021. What is causing soft truckload volumes? More than likely, the lower volumes are due to a major consumer slowdown. Inflation that began in 2020, combined with the surge in fuel prices related to increased inflation and the Russian invasion of Ukraine, have made consumers move to the sidelines. In addition to monitoring Sonar data, FreightWaves analysts also conduct channel checks through our network. Market participants are confirming what FreightWaves analysts are seeing in the data. Spot rates are falling fast and volumes are dropping. What does this mean for the rest of 2022? There are many reasons to believe that the freight market slowdown will continue and that an oversupply of trucking capacity, particularly in the spot market, will pull rates even lower. Consumer spending is shifting away from physical goods. Freight is all about the movement of physical goods. Travel and entertainment do not drive much freight, so any dollar spent on experiences means money isn't spent on cargo. After 2 years of massive consumption of physical goods, consumers are pausing their spending. The COVID surge is largely behind us, and people are starting to shift their spending away from physical goods to travel and entertainment, which will take a much larger percentage of disposable spending than we have seen over the past 2 years. The trend toward intensive goods spending has taken longer than many initially expected to reverse itself, but consumer spending data confirms that a material shift is taking place. February retail sales were nearly flat at 0.3%, missing expectations. Inflation and high fuel prices will keep consumers on the sidelines. If traffic is any indication, consumers are on the move right now, and this requires fuel. Except for the 3% of the U.S. population that have electric cars, any money spent on filling up the gas tank will mean less money going toward discretionary spending. Everything is more expensive than it used to be, and consumers are starting to be more cautious about the future. High fuel prices and runaway inflation sap consumer confidence and will be a drag on discretionary purchases. Inventories. Over the past 2 years, shippers were short of inventory. In an attempt to prevent stock outages, they ordered more than they needed and now are faced with a hangover from ordering too much. Key transshipment infrastructure like ports, warehouses, transloading facilities, and intermodal ramps were clogged, slowing freight velocity, reducing sales, and increasing inventory levels. FreightWave's view is that shippers will compensate by slowing their purchasing and working off inventory when opportunities with acceptable margins arise. Truckload spot rates are falling fast. Trucking spot rates are under massive pressure, caused by too many trucks and not enough freight. Truckstop.com's truckload spot rates peaked at $3.83 per mile in January and are now down to $3.42 per mile. Spot rates will fall further and hit $2.50 per mile by mid-year. A rash of trucking bankruptcies are on the way, and it will be Bloodbath 2.0. Trucking has enjoyed the largest number of new entrants in its history over the past 2 years. New fleet registrations were up to 20,166 last month alone. This is unprecedented. The last peak was in August 2019. There were 9,511 new trucking fleets, and that was in the middle of one of the weakest freight markets in history. New trucking registrations tend to lag market conditions, so we can expect new fleets to continue to enter the market even after things soften. This will make the downturn that much worse. Many of the operators are unseasoned and inexperienced. They are unlikely to have ever seen a market downturn, much less run a business in the middle of one. They also bought their trucks and hired their drivers at the top of the market. These same drivers that were chasing high spot volumes will find fewer and fewer opportunities in the market. They will either leave the trucking market or move to trucking companies that have more consistent freight, leaving those trucks unseated. With falling spot rates, declining volumes, surging fuel prices, and inflation across the board, it will get ugly very quickly for many of these operators. Back in 2019, FreightWave's reporters wrote about trucking bankruptcies almost every day. I expect this will become reality for us once again.
So, if you sit back and you Monday morning quarterback this, you cannot find many spots to argue with this. But now, what I will say is, if you started your business from, I'd say, any of 2019 or 2017 or 18, you should be okay. Maybe in the 20. If you started your business in the last month or probably in the last year, now is the time. You can still make it. You can survive. But now is the time to sit back, get them numbers together, get your numbers exactly where they're at. They're going to be high, and your biggest issue you're probably going to see is you don't have enough cushion for the fuel. Let's see where the fuel's at today. But, like I said, you can definitely make it. I started in 17, and that was a pretty high market. And I made it through the downturn in 19, so you can do it. It can 100% be done. So average 4. But we don't use gas Hotshot. See, so around here, and that's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, it's up. 406 is up. I'm sorry. It's 491 for diesel. Definitely up. 100%. And it sucks. But $8.38 a gallon in Australia. $6.24 here. So, guys, there's a lot to be said with this article. I'll put the article down in the description. But if you watch the numbers, and I've seen this happening, this is not why I got out of the business, or this is not why I got out of the truck. The time may come, young grasshopper. So, I can 100% see this. I can see more people going on vacation and, buying the experiences that we have not had in the last couple years. some people are addicted to that and they're urgent for that. So you're just going to have to really, really crunch your numbers. The longer you hold on, the better of a chance you got, because there's going to be people dropping. There's going to be people dropping. But I see more of this. The spot market's down right now, no questions asked. But I think if you got into a contract, or if you get into one shortly, I think you can survive. Because if you can get somebody to sign a contract that, I don't know, let's say $3.10 a mile, $3.20 a mile. I know that's not great money, but if you get that contract signed, and then when rates fall, if you have a year contract, that's what it is, you know? So obviously they're not going to pay more than the spot rate right now, or the average. But a lot of this, and I've seen it confirmed on the pages all the time, the brokers are holding a lot, because they are getting jealous for these. Like, these are the times that they don't like. You know what I mean? We were way too high here for their liking. So it's just the way it is. It's a game of war between the two. So let me know what you guys think about this article. Like I said, this comes from Freight Waves. So the link will be in the description. What are you doing to get ready for this? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. Peace!